Hello students, welcome to all of you Shiksha 3 system. And for all lectures basically you can join our specific batches basically for ABM, for BFM and for retail. Basically we will provide PDF, PPT. Basically we will provide you the handwritten notes of the numericals and some important points basically before your examination. MCQ, case study and numerical regularly updated in your group. Clear, we will provide you the recorded question sessions and even previous year questions. Clear, basically before 2 weeks of your exam basically we will provide you basically, or 1 week before your exam basically we will provide you 100 near about previous year questions, clear, which they have asked. Clear, so let's start our today's session with respect to that. And our today's session is basically behalf on the chapter number 11, that is market risk. Clear, market risk, chapter number 11, part 1. Clear, basically now basically we will change a little bit basically way of basically sessions. Basically in every session now we will discuss 2 to 3 MCQs. Clear, what we have discussed in that session we will discuss 2 to 3 MCQs related to that, so that basically you are able to understand, clear, what type of questions they will ask from that. Clear, what type of question basically they will ask from that. So let's start our today's session basically market risk. Clear, basically in the starting of the session we will discuss this point with the help of one example. Clear, we will understand this point with the help of one example, and after that we will move towards the market risk. Clear, so let's start. So best way, clear, best way to understand the market. Clear, best way to understand the market is to be in the market. Clear, basically we will understand the market is only basically when we are in the market. So basically say Mr. X has raised the capital of rupees 10,000. Clear, say Mr. X has raised the capital of rupees 10,000 and invest in the shares of ABC Limited. Clear, basically Mr. X has raised the capital of rupees 10,000 and basically where he invest, basically invest in the shares of ABC Limited being quoted at rupees 100. Clear, the price of one share, the price of one share is rupees 100. So basically the price of 100 share is to be rupees 10,000, 100 into 100. So he buys 100 shares. He has a portfolio. Clearly he has a portfolio valued at rupees 10,000 against his capital of rupees 10,000. Clear, basically now he has a portfolio valued at rupees 10,000. Clear, basically when he buy their value is to be rupees 10,000 against his capital of rupees 10,000. Clear, now next day what will happen? Next day there is a 5% drop in the share price. Clear, now it is to be 100, actually now it becomes 95. So their whole portfolio now reduced. Clear, so their whole portfolio value now reduced to rupees 9,500, and so does the capital also. Clear, which stands reduced to rupees 9,500. Clear, basically actually they are investing rupees 10,000 but now it becomes rupees 9,500. Clear. So basically the loss here incurred by Mr. X affects his capital. Clear, the loss incurred by Mr. X affects his capital directly to the extent of loss. Clear, the loss incurred by Mr. X here affects his capital directly to the extent of loss incurred by him. Clear, directly to the extent of the loss incurred by him due to movement in market prices. Clear, basically why this loss has to be incurred to him? Basically due to the movement in the market prices. Clear, basically why? Basically due to the movement in the market prices. Clear, now let's take one scenario. So his capital, clear, his capital loss would be more. Clear, his capital loss would be more if he had leveraged his capital. Clear, so say he is allowed to borrow 9 times. Clear, basically present scenario, basically what is going to be done, basically if it is allowed. Clear, if he is allowed to borrow 9 times his capital. Clear, like if he has capital of rupees 10,000. Clear, so basically now he is even allowed to borrow shares up to amount of rupees 90,000. Clear, say he is allowed to borrow 9 times his capital. Clear, now X has 10,000 as capital and rupees 90,000 as borrowings. Clear, 90,000 as borrowings. Clear, basically it has 10,000 as his capital. Clear, but for how much amount he can borrow? Basically up to 90,000. Clear, up to 90,000. Clear, up to 90,000 he can borrow. So his total resources, clear, his total resources amount to rupees 1 lakh, clear. If he had invested, clear, if he had invested in the shares of ABC Limited, clear, the entire resources available to him, clear, the entire resources available to him, basically total amount we can say that 1 lakh. So had he purchased 1000 shares at rupees 100 each, clear. So now basically what he will do, basically he will purchase 1000 shares. Earlier he purchased only 100 shares. Now basically if the system allows basically to borrow 9 times his capital, clear, so basically 10,000 he has and 90,000 he will allow more, clear. So basically total he will able to allow basically buy shares of rupees 1 lakh, clear. So now basically if the share price of one share is rupees 100, so basically how many shares he is able to buy? 1000 shares, clear. So if he had invested in the shares of ABC Limited, the entire sources available to him, had he purchased, clear, he had purchased basically 1000 shares at rupees 100 each, clear. Had he purchased 1000 shares at rupees 100 each, he would have lost, clear, he would have lost rupees 5000, clear. He would have lost rupees 5000 due to adverse movement, clear. Basically how basically he would lost, basically he would have lost rupees 5000, clear, basically due to the adverse movement, clear, due to the adverse movement of market price, and his capital would have been reduced by 50%, clear, and his capital would have been reduced by 50%, clear. Clear, same scenario if they are saying that basically if the price is reducing by then 5%, clear. So basically how much they will lose here, clear, he will lose here 5000, clear, he will lose here is to be rupees 5000 and its capital here is to be 10,000. So basically due to the adverse movement of market price and his capital have been reduced by 50%, clear. 10,000 is the original capital, 5,000 is the loss, so he will lose by 5,000, clear, basically 50% of the capital of its capital, clear. Clear, basically rest is the basically it is capacity, clear, it is given the capacity, but in the end they will loss here, clear, in the end but they will loss here, clear. Basically rest is the loss, basically that is basically we can taken as a margin money concept, clear. So in other words, clear, in other words we can say that he would have lost half the capital, clear. In other words basically we can say that he would have lost half the capital, clear. Please note that we have not taken into account, clear, please note that here basically we have not taken into account any transaction cost or cost of borrowings into account, clear. Please note that basically here we have only refers to the market condition, clear. Here we have refer only to the market condition and we have not taken into account any transaction cost of or cost of borrowings into account, clear. If we take these into account also, clear, Mr. X would incur some loss more, clear. Basically if we include also basically like when we are doing or when we are selling the shares, clear, we have to also pay the cost, clear, we have to always also pay the cost and some other costs are also, clear, when buying or some other things, clear. So basically we will not include all these costs here, clear. Basically we are not including all these costs here, clear, otherwise Mr. X would suffer more loss, clear, otherwise Mr. X would suffer more loss, clear. So this is basically how the market risk happens, clear. So what is the 9 times, clear. So let's discuss. Basically actually Mr. X problems are not over as yet since he is permitted, clear, since he is permitted to raise 9 times his capital as borrowings, and now that his capital stands at rupees 5,000 only, clear. Now that his capital stands at rupees 5,000 only, clear. So he has to liquidate his holdings, clear. He has to liquidate his holdings by rupees 50,000 to repay his borrowings, clear, which is over and above his permissible limit, clear. So now he has to liquidate his holdings, clear. Now he has to liquidate his holdings by rupees 50,000 to repay his borrowings, which is over and above his permissible limit, clear. So now if the market anticipating further fall, clear, like earlier 100 to 95, now if basically we can say that if the price of a share is much lower, that like we can say that it goes to rupees 80, clear. Now if the market anticipating further fall in the price of shares of ABC Limited, clear, has become has become liquid as far as this share is concerned. Clear? So now Mr. X, clear? Now Mr. X would be able to liquidate his holdings only at a lower price, the risk of asset liquidity. Clear? Now basically because he has to get the money back. Clear? He has to get the money back. So basically whatever the lower price basically it is to be, he has to liquidate his holding. Clear? He has to liquidate his holdings. Basically the risk of asset liquidity. Clear? Basically this is also known as asset liquidity risk, which we have to discuss in the upcoming slides. Clear? So basically this would result, clear, this would result in further losses, that would result in further depletion of the capital, requiring further liquidation of his holdings to remain within the permissible borrowing limit. Clear? Basically to remain within the permissible borrowing limit. Clear? So now they has to liquidate more. Clear? Now they has to liquidate more, or basically we can say that now they has to sell more of its shares. Clear? Now they have to sell more of its shares. Clear? Basically like this is the same thing like if you are basically either trading on the Zerodha or Upstocks. Clear? Basically they are giving you the offerings like you are able to purchase shares of your with your 50% fund limits, or basically 3 times of your fund limits. Clear? So basically they are saying the same thing here. Clear? Basically they are taking the example of the same thing here. Clear? Basically how we are basically attracting towards these things, and in the end basically how we can face loss. Clear? How we can face loss. Clear? Even in some cases it leads to the profit also, but you have to do very carefully all these things. Clear? That is basically known as the market risk. Clear? Basically we will discuss the risk. Basically means that basically we are facing the loss. Clear? Risk basically means the loss. Clear? Here risk basically means the loss. Clear? So this is basically the introduction of capital risk, sorry, market risk. Clear? So now he would also face the same situation if in the meanwhile the liquidity availability in the market had undergone a change for the worse. So the lack of liquidity, clear, the lack of liquidity in the market would have driven the share price further down, resulting in a losses. Clear? So Mr. X has in fact faces the following risk. Clear? By taking an exposure on a security that are being traded in the market. First one basically which risk he faces? Price risk. Clear? Price risk basically means that risk of adverse movement in the price. Clear? Price risk basically means that risk of adverse movement in the price. Clear? So you have to remember that basically in the market risk, basically what type of risk? Basically here first one is the price risk, second one is the asset liquidity risk, third one is the poor marketable liquidity, that is marketable liquidity risk. Clear? Basically price risk basically means that risk of adverse movement in the price. Clear? Second one is the asset liquidity risk, basically means that risk of reduced liquidity in the market for a specific security. Clear? Basically like that if you are buying the Yes Bank share, if you are buying the Yes Bank share. Clear? Now basically I think in the year 2019 or 2020, clear, basically Yes Bank basically verges on the closure. Clear? Basically due to their mismanagement. Clear? So basically at that time their shares holders are continuously selling the shares. Clear? Their shareholders are continuously selling the shares, and there are very less buyers. Clear? Or no buyers, we can say that basically in the market there are no buyers. Clear? So basically it leads to the problem of the liquidity. Clear? It leads to the problem of the asset liquidity risk. Clear? That is basically for a specific security. Clear? Risk of reduced liquidity in the market. Clear? Basically means that basically there are no sellers. Clear? Sorry, there are no buyers. Clear? If there are no buyers, then we are not able to sell. Clear? Then basically we are not able to sell. That is basically we are saying that the liquidity risk. Clear? That is basically saying that basically asset liquidity risk. Clear? Basically we want to sell, but there are no buyers, so we are not able to sell. Clear? Next one is the risk of poor market liquidity, that is basically known as the market liquidity risk. Clear? Basically overall all the things are not able to sell. Clear? All the things are not able to sell. Clear? That is basically known as the poor marketable liquidity. Clear? Here in the second one basically asset liquidity basically for the specific security, and here it is a whole bunch of securities. Clear? Basically we can say that poor marketable liquidity. Clear? Basically market condition is not good, that's leads to the market liquidity risk. So of course here Mr. X would have made profits. Clear? Now we will move to on the next slide. Basically of course Mr. X would have made profits if the price has moved favorably and had been the motivation for him to be in the market at first place. Clear? But then these are the risks that he had taking moment he invests in the market traded securities. Clear? He is taking movement. Clear? Imagine what would happen. Imagine what would happen if the share prices of ABC Limited had fallen by 10%. Clear? Well, his entire capital would have been wiped out, resulting him being out of this business. Clear? Basically, here in the starting we have discussed that price fall of the share is basically only 5%. Clear? Only 5%. Clear? If here, what will happen if the price is fallen by the 10%? Clear? So basically they will lose their entire capital of rupees 10,000. Clear? So it would be better. Clear? It would be better if we had some measure of possible downside potential. Clear? So it would be better if he had some measure of possible downside potential of the share price. Clear? It would be better if he had some measure of possible downside potential of the share price. Clear? So Mr. X Mr. X, before he enters this business, should have a framework. Clear? Therefore Mr. X, before enters this business, should have a framework that provides him with an approach to manage the risk. Clear? Basically, so whenever Mr. X would enter, so basically should have a framework. Clear? That provides him basically with an approach to manage the risk. Clear? Basically how to manage these risks. Second one is a measure of risk. Clear? A measure of risk that can tell him. Clear? A measure of risk basically that can tell him of possible downside potential. Clear? A measure of risk basically that can tell him of possible downside potential. Clear? Basically, or basically he have to measure their risk. Clear? Basically measure their risk basically that tell him basically of possible downside potential. Clear? That he will face loss in the future. Clear? So they have to manage their risks according to that. Clear? That is basically they have to think over that. Clear? Before entering in this type of a business. Clear? So basically this is the overall discussion of the market risk. Clear? Now let's move to the other one is, so market risk in banks. Clear? So what are this? Clear? Basically as we have discussed in the chapter number 8. Clear? Basically in the trading book. Clear? In the trading book we are discussing the market risk. Clear? In the trading book basically we are discussing the market risk. Clear? So banks also have several activities. Clear? Banks also have several activities and undertake transactions. Clear? Banks also have several activities and undertake transactions that result in market exposure. Clear? Basically that result in market exposure, like if you are investing funds in mutual funds through the banks or SIPs. Clear? That are basically involves basically market risk. Clear? So basically they are also not immune to these risks. Clear? They face it too. Clear? Basically banks are also facing these risks. Clear? So basically they are not immune. Clear? So all such transactions. Clear? Basically all such transactions are reflected in the trading book. Clear? And all these types of transactions. Clear? All these types of transactions. Clear? Or all such transactions are basically reflected in the trading book. Clear? First one, let's discuss point 1. Clear? A trading book consists bank proprietary positions. Clear? In financial instruments covering. Clear? Basically a trading book consists of bank proprietary position in financial instruments covering. Clear? Basically which financial instruments they will cover. Clear? A trading book basically consists of banks proprietary positions in financial instruments. Clear? In financial instruments covering debt securities, equities. Basically we can say that shares, foreign exchange, commodities and derivatives held for trading. Clear? Basically all these are to be covering. Clear? Equities, debt securities, foreign exchange, commodities and derivatives held for trading. Next one here is to be these they include. Clear? They also include positions. Clear? They also include positions in financial instruments. Clear? They also include positions in financial instruments. Basically from where it will arise, basically arising from the matched principal brokering. Clear? And market making. Clear? Basically they also include positions in financial instruments. Clear? That are arising from the matched principal brokering and market making. Clear? That are basically arising from the matched principal brokering and market making or positions. Clear? And market making or positions taken in order to hedge other elements of the trading book. Clear? Taken in order to hedge other elements. Clear? Taken in order to hedge other elements of the trading book. Clear, taken in order to hedge other elements. Basically hedge basically means that basically to safeguard, basically clear, for safeguarding. Clear, so they also include positions in financial instruments arising from matched principal brokering and market making, or positions taken, or positions basically taken in order to hedge other elements of the trading book. Clear, so they are held with the trading intent. Clear, basically they are held with the trading intent and with the intention of benefiting in the short term. Clear, from actual and or expected differences. Clear, from actual and or expected differences basically between the buying and the selling prices. Clear, basically why these things are to be taken, like equities, or basically which we have already discussed here is foreign exchange, commodities, debts, correct, basically for the benefiting. Clear, for getting the benefit in the short term. Clear, basically how we can get the benefit basically from the actual and or expected differences. Clear, from the actual and or expected differences between their buying and the selling prices. Clear, between their buying and the selling prices, or hedging other elements in the trading book. Clear, like we can say that some are buying the shares for the long term and some are buying for the short term. Clear, like we can say that on Monday if the market is down, so some buy shares, like we can say that of we will take the example, an example we will take, like we can say the TCS share is rupees 1500 on Monday. Clear, market is down by 400 points, and what will happen on Tuesday? Market will goes up to 200 points above, and basically there is also trend that market will going up on Wednesday. Clear, so basically it will rise to 600 points more. So basically this share will rise to 2200 on Wednesday. Clear, so the person will sell that. Clear, that is basically known as the short term. Clear, even many persons are taking the shares and basically investing, like we can say that Yes Bank share is of rupees 12 rupees or 14 rupees. Clear, so after 3 years basically everyone has know that basically its price lets to rise. Clear, so basically after 3 years basically it will become 60 rupees. Clear, so that is basically known as long term. Clear, hedging their funds or securing their funds for the long term benefits. Clear, so basically they are held with the trading intent and with the intention of benefit in the short term from actual or expected differences between their buying and selling prices, or hedging other elements in the trading book. Clear, or hedging other elements in the trading book. So a bank's trading book. Clear, a bank's trading book exposure has the following risk. Clear, a bank's trading book exposure basically has the following risk. Clear, and basically these risks are arising from, clear, which arise due to adverse change. Clear, basically trading book exposure has the following risk which arise basically due to the adverse change in the market variables. Clear, basically which are arise basically due to the adverse change in the market variables such as interest rates, currency exchange rate. Clear, basically what are these risks? First one is the interest rate risk, second one is the currency exchange rate, third one is the commodity prices, fourth one is the market liquidity, etc. Clear, in market variables such as the interest rates, currency exchange rate, commodity prices, market liquidity, etc. Clear, basically these are the main risks. Clear, which basically arise due to the adverse change in the market variable. Once again I will discuss interest rate, currency exchange rate, commodity prices, market liquidity, etc. Clear, and their volatility. Clear, and their volatility, basically how fast they change. Clear, and their volatilities and impacts banks earning and capital adversely. Clear, and their volatilities impacts banks earning and capital adversely. Clear, so what are basically these risks? First one is basically we have to discuss the market risk. Second one basically which we have to discuss the liquidity risk. Basically liquidity risk is further divided into two risks: asset liquidity risk and the market liquidity risk. Clear, basically first one which we have to discuss here is the market risk. Second one which we have to discuss here is the liquidity risk. Clear, liquidity risk is further divided into two parts. First one is the asset liquidity risk, and second one here which we have to discuss is the market liquidity risk. Clear, third one is the credit and counterparty risk. Clear, third one is the credit and counterparty risk. Clear, so basically we have to discuss all these risks one by one. Clear, under the market risk basically we have to discuss all these risks one by one, that is market risk, liquidity risk, that is basically known as asset liquidity risk, and market liquidity risk. Third one is the credit and counterparty risk. Clear? Credit and counterparty risk. Clear? One point we have to understand here, basically note the market liquidity risk. Clear? Here the market liquidity risk is is different from the funding liquidity risk. Clear? Funding liquidity risk, basically funding risk we have to face in the liquidity risk, like funding risk, call risk. Clear? Basically, or time risk. Clear? Which we have discussed in the liquidity risk. Clear? So here they are saying that basically the market liquidity risk is different from the funding liquidity risk that arise. Clear? That arise basically due to the asset liability mismatch. Clear? Basically funding risk, basically how basically it will arise, basically the is different from the funding liquidity risk, basically that arise basically due to the asset liability mismatch, and it is a subject matter of asset liability management. Clear? So funding risk, basically funding liquidity risk, it is basically arises due to the asset liability mismatch. Clear? Due to the basically asset liability mismatch, and it is a subject matter of asset liability management. Clear? And it is a basically a subject matter of asset liability management. Clear? So you have to remember this one. Clear? Basically what is the difference between the market liquidity risk and funding liquidity risk. Clear? So basically in this session, basically we have to discuss up to this much point, and now we'll move towards one or two questions basically for better understanding of the concept. Clear? Basically first question on your screens now, basically a trading book. Clear? A trading book consists of bank proprietary positions in financial instruments covering which of the following. Clear? Basically a trading book consists of bank proprietary positions in financial instruments. Clear? Covering which of the following. Clear? What they will cover? Equity, debt securities, derivatives held for trading, all the. Clear? Basically as we have discussed in the starting of the session, let's move towards that point. So basically a trading book consists bank proprietary position in financial instruments covering debt securities, shares or equities, foreign exchange, commodities and derivatives held for trading. Clear? Similarly they will ask question in the examination. Clear? Equities, yes, this is true. Debt security, that this is true. Clear? Derivatives held for trading, that is also true. Clear? Next one is commodities. If they ask commodities, in that also, that will also true. Or foreign exchange, this is also true. Clear? So option number D is the answer, basically all the above. Clear? Basically all the instruments. Clear? All these financial instruments basically covering. Clear here? So option number D is the answer, all the above. Clear? So basically they will ask these types of question also. Clear? Basically they will check basically how much you have remember what they have mentioned. Next one is basically bank's trading book. Clear? Bank's trading book exposure has various risks. Clear? Basically which we have already discussed in the I think slide number 7 or 8. Clear? Basically bank's trading book exposure has various risks. Clear? Basically trading book exposure has various risks, basically which arise. Clear? Basically which arise due to the adverse change. Clear? Basically which arise due to the adverse change in which of the following market variables. Clear? Basically which arise due to the adverse changes. Clear? Basically which arise due to the adverse changes in which of the following market variables. Clear? In which of the following market variables. First one is the interest rate, second one is the commodity prices, third one is the currency exchange rate, fourth one is the all of the above. Clear? So basically what are the risks? Basically which arises due to the adverse change in the market variables. Interest rate, yes, this will arise. Commodity prices, yes, this will also rise. Clear? Currency exchange rate, this will also rise. Clear? So all the above is the answer. Let's basically this will from here they will question. Clear? A bank sorry, a bank's trading book exposure has the following risk, basically which arise due to the adverse change in market variables such as the interest rate, this is one option. Currency exchange rate, this is the second option. Commodity prices, this is the third option. Market liquidity they will not mention here. Clear? Interest rate, yes. Commodity prices, yes. Currency exchange rate, yes. All the above, this is the answer. Even if they will include market liquidity, then this will also one of the correct option. Clear? So basically all these leads to the adverse change in the market variables. Clear? Interest rate, commodity prices, currency exchange rate, market liquidity, etc. Clear? So basically in our today's session we have to discuss up to this much point. The next session, clear, we have to discuss all these things in detail. Clear? In the next session we have to discuss basically this market risk, liquidity risk and credit and counterparty risk. Clear? Basically we have to discuss all these things in the next session. Basically in these sessions, clear, basically in these video sessions, basically we will provide you the case studies also. Clear? Side by side, basically whatever we have covered the topic, we will provide you case studies. Clear? Either for the practice or either I will guide you basically how to solve. Clear? Basically depends upon the level of the case study. Clear? Basically all these case studies, clear, all this question whatever we have to discuss, and side by side we will provide you more questions, MCQs, numericals and case studies for the practice also in your respective Telegrams group. Clear? So thanks to all of you for watching this video, and I request all of you please subscribe our YouTube channel Shiksha 360. Basically many lectures are also uploaded on that, and for all lecture updates you have to join our Telegram group CAIIB 22, and MCQs discussions are mainly held basically in this group, and for basically miscellaneous MCQs discussion in this group, and for the subjective basically we have to discuss ABM MCQs or case study in that ABM group, for BFM basically BFM group, and for retail basically retail group. Clear? So thanks to all of you for watching this video.